Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Modi with OddsJam, and today's video will be a Thursday night football preview. So we got the Vikings and the Steelers going at it tomorrow night on Thursday. Looking at the money line, looks like the Vikings, the best odds you can get them at are minus 160, and that would be plus 147 for the Steelers. Funny enough, looks like both odds are better than the OddsJam Perfect Line, but if you take the VIG out, none of those are positive expected value. Looking along, I'll skip the point spread because that's actually where I'm going to have a play. Looking along, the total looks like the same thing. Looks like there's a little bit of a positive value. Looks like the over's kind of trending over 41, over 41 and a half, over 42. And then when you get to under 42 and a half, there's a small difference between the best line and the OddsJam Perfect Line, but nothing crazy. So not going to end up being a play on the total as well. Where I found value, and I stole this from the positive expected value page, it looks like OddsJam is all over the Steelers spread at multiple lines. So looks like the Pittsburgh spread at plus 4.5, plus 5.5, and plus 5 are all positive expected value plays. I love when a line gets like this on using OddsJam. I had a video yesterday talking about how I hit the under on the Jaguars and who they play, the Rams, multiple times, and all three of them hit. Majority of the times I've done that, where I've hit a line multiple times, they've all hit. So this is what's going to be my play. Sorry, for some reason I can't talk today. I'm going to make my official play that I put $100 on the Steelers plus 5.5, just because that has the highest percent chance of hitting. And, for a play where I put my $100 on, I want to make sure I'm giving out plays that have high chances of winning. But I also individually locked in based on what the amount to wager was for both 4.5 and 5. But my $100 play, I put 5.5. And you can see that here. So here's the $100. Pittsburgh Steelers plus 5.5 alternate spread, wager $100, and then I put 35 on 4.5 and 5. So you might ask yourself what the point is of doing it multiple times, and why not just lock in one of them. And for a situation like this where they are all $35, that would have made sense. But I like to follow the positive expected value play. So in the off chance that the Steelers the Steelers lose by 5, the alternate one would have hit. The 5.5 one obviously would have hit, and the other two would have lost. So I just kind of like to do it at multiple lines, just in case it happens to land exactly on a total. You kind of minimize risk that way. And so for my official play, like I said, it's going to be this one here, the Steelers plus 5.5 against the Vikings. So the OddsJam Perfect Line has that at minus 156. DraftKings, I got it at minus 135. So the percent chance of that bet hitting, if you take out the VIG, is a little under 59%, just about 59%. And again, we're getting that at minus 135, which is closer to like a 54% chance of hitting just based on percentages. And for football reasons, I like it too. The career numbers on Mike Tomlin covering as an underdog are pretty high. I know the Steelers kind of had a rough start to the year, and then they kind of got it back together. Then they had a little bit of a rough middle when they tied against the Lions, game Big Ben's missed. Big Ben has just looked cooked all year, but there's just something about these Steelers that when they're underdogs, they tend to show up. I remember the Sunday night game, I believe that was, against the Chargers, where they put up, I think, 17 points in the fourth quarter. Just an offensive explosion. Of course, the defense ended up blowing it, but that just kind of shows you can't really count out Pittsburgh. And the Vikings, haven't we learned to not trust Kirk Cousins in primetime? His primetime record has been terrible ever since his Washington football team days. And I don't know what it is about the bright lights, but he just gets nervous and he doesn't perform. And there's pretty much a cardinal rule I have with the Steelers, and that is when they're favorites, fade them. When they're underdogs, bet them. And that's been pretty profitable if you look at Mike Tomlin's career as an underdog. I'm sure there's a stat out there. Let's just see. Mike Tomlin underdog record. Let's see if I could. So he is 38, 19, and 12 as an underdog. So that is just, let's see if we can look at other betting trends. So Big Ben is 9, 2 against the spread as the home dog. Let's see so they're away in this game, so I forgot about that. So that the home dog doesn't really apply here, but just pretty much relying on Mike Tomlin to rally the troops. They got a big win against the Ravens this past week, where they stopped them on the 2-point conversion, even though Lamar kind of missed an open Mark Andrews, but they did get pressure on him, so that's fair. And the Vikings have been a team that's played close games all year. If you look at the Vikings schedule, they just lost to the Lions, which is terrible. And if you look at their games, so I believe they've had a touchdown lead in every game this year. And let's count how many games have been decided by over 6 or more points. So look, they beat the Seahawks by 13. They beat the Chargers by 7. And they lost by 8 to the Vikings, but obviously they lost that game. So games they've actually won, looks like 3 of their games, they would have covered that 5.5 spread. And, I don't think the Steelers are that great, but I think that they're good enough. They have a good enough defense. Thielen's banged up for the Vikings, so that should help. And I just think that, with a game wrecker like TJ Watt, who wrecked the game this past week against the Ravens, he was everywhere. I have a lot of faith in the Steelers, not necessarily to win, but to cover the 5.5 spread. I'm pretty confident that they'll lose by, if they do lose, it won't be by more than 5. So this is going to be my official play. Again, these are all on DraftKings. If you want to hit the line multiple times like I did, by all means. But my official play is going to be the Steelers plus 5.5 against the Vikings. Again, that is on DraftKings. The OddsJam Perfect Line has that at minus 156. We got that at minus 135 on DraftKings, which gives it about a 59% chance of hitting based on the OddsJam Perfect Line. That's when you remove the VIG. And like I said, we're getting that at minus 135 on DraftKings. So that'll be my official play, this one right here. Steelers plus 5.5. And that's all I got for you. That's going to be my Thursday night preview. Not much on the total, not much on the money line. Unfortunately, I didn't have any player props for you. Maybe if something pops up, I'll put something out on TikTok. You can follow me at OddsJam_betting, or I'll put something out as a YouTube short. But for social media, you can follow me on Twitter at Modi_sports. Like I said, I'm on TikTok at OddsJam_betting. And you can also send me an email, Matthew@oddsjam.com, or just feel free to comment on the video. I also make sure to check those as well. But that's all I got for you. So happy betting, happy watching, and good luck.